Hi, thank you all for coming. My name is Marina Mizell. Today we're going to talk about soap making. By the end of this talk, you should be able to differentiate between cold process and melt and pour soap making, identify the corresponding use of three additives used in soap making, describe safety precautions necessary when making cold process soap, and explain the steps of cold process soap making. Historically speaking, soap wasn't always used for hygiene and bathing. Rather, it was used medicinally and for washing fabrics like laundry detergent. The first record we have of soap was back in 2800 BC with the Babylonians, where they used fats boiled with ashes, which combined made a soap. The next record would have been in 1550 BC with Egyptians who made soap out of animal and vegetable oils with alkaline salts. And then the Phoenicians in 600 BC with goat's tallow and wood ashes. Um, the Romans had an interesting concoction using urine. And then liquid soap became known more widely in the 1970s when they added glycerin. There are many types of soap making. Cold process is the most popular, that's the one in the center. There are two others that I will briefly discuss. The first is hot process soap making, which is the same ingredients as cold process soap making, but it uses heat. And it gets a deeper, richer color, similar to the picture on the left. You get more earthy tones from that because it goes through what is called a gel phase, which is only achieved through higher temperatures during the soap making process. And melt and pour soap, which is more common when you're just getting started in soap making because you do not have to deal with the base ingredients. It's already made soap. All you need to do is put it in the microwave, melt it down, and put it in the molds. And that is more similar to the one example on the right, where it has a nice clear base, so you can actually see through it. And a lot of people make these different kinds of embeds, like this example of the koi fish that are placed underneath the water to look like a pond. Whenever you're working with cold process soap, it's always important to use proper safety precaution. It's very important to use long sleeves, gloves, and definitely eye protection. I just listed a couple here. And always wear closed-toed shoes, long pants, and make sure to tie up any long hair. Just because lye is a very strong base. It's actually used in drain cleaner, about a 14 on the pH scale, and can cause very bad caustic burns if it touches your skin or clothing. And for that reason, we always, when we're adding lye to the water and making our lye water solution, you always add the lye to the water. So that way you're starting with a very dilute solution that slowly increases in concentration rather than the other way around, which would be more dangerous if flashing occurs. Okay, so let's take a look at what this might look like if we try and make some cold process soap. Has anyone ever tried this before? Okay, so let's give this a try. So we start with our lye water solution, where we've added our lye to our water, not the other way around. The first thing we do is make sure we have all of our personal protective equipment on, long sleeves, gloves, eyewear in particular. And we add our lye water solution to our oils, which you've already pre-mixed. And then we're going to take a stick blender, just your normal kitchen blender, and blend until we have what is called light trace. And what is trace, you may ask? So trace is actually something I had very difficulty in understanding when I was first starting out in soap making. But it's actually, once you see what it is, it makes a lot of sense. So trace, in words, is the point in which the soap making process, when the oils in the lye water have sort of fully come together. So it won't look like when you put oil into water and it has those bubbles or those globs. It'll actually look more cloudy and more so like mashed potatoes, but it won't have the consistency of mashed potatoes. Um, Anytime you use like another oil in there, like some coconut oil or vegetable oil, anything that's solid at room temperature, is going to give you trace quicker than something that is liquid at room temperature, um, like olive oil, for instance. All right, so we're halfway through the process. Once we have our trace, this is on the very left side, you can see the color that you should achieve. It's kind of like a pale yellow, and that might change depending on what oils you have in there. So you're going to add in your colorant. You can use like micas, which are powdered synthetic colorants, or you can use, which include like titanium dioxide or uh, black iron oxide or anything like that. And then also going to add your fragrance for scent, or essential oils also for scent, or for homeopathic characteristics. You can also split your soap into different sections in order to make layers, which is what they're doing here in this batch. Then you're going to pour your mixtures into the molds. You can, in the very right picture, she's actually shaking the mixture as she's pouring it in order to make these sort of like waves or mountain kind of shapes. You can actually make a bunch of different designs if you do it sort of like that. Okay, so let's finish up. The next thing we need to do is spritz the top of the mold with 99% rubbing alcohol. It doesn't necessarily have to be 99%. I think I have 70%, just pretty much anything you can get at your drugstore. This helps to break the surface tension of any bubbles that may have formed, and to prevent some ashing that can occur. Lastly, be patient. Generally, cold process soap takes a couple of days to harden in the mold. If you take it out of the mold too soon, you risk putting little indents in the sides of your mold or in the top and messing up that beautiful design that you just made. And any questions about the process?